I see trees of green.
Are they really using this
Red
song?
roses too. I see them bloom for
This isn't gonna end
me
well.
and
I
you.
feel it.
I'm too beautiful to die.
Oh, great. Now there's a dragon. The heck is there a dragon for? I can't keep this skit up. just go on with the review. So, Underwater, it's, you know, a January release, which usually doesn't end well, because January releases tend to be the, hey, we as a studio don't really give a crap about this movie, but we kind of need to get it released. And, yeah, Underwater has been pretty much complete for what I can tell for the last 2 years straight now, and, you know, it's actually a pretty solid little thriller. Granted, it's literally just Alien if it was at the bottom of the ocean as opposed to in the middle of space, but hey, it actually works. The sequences are actually pretty intense and even claustrophobic at some points, and yeah, there are parts where I was just legit like, nope, 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 no, 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 we're not doing this, no, 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 which is a good sign that a action thriller of this type is working really well. You know, if it's literally getting you your skin crawling and making you just go, oh gosh, no, at the sight of any nude scene. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I think my big issue is the story itself wasn't as compelling as it could have been. But granted, it's a case where the tension and the cast are really doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, as well as the visuals. For a movie on about a $60 million budget, it looked better than a movie that had a higher budget than this that's also on this review. But on top of that, it's just a good solid thriller. I think another thing is that it does have way too many moments similar to Aquaman's weird surprise attack moments where it just blacks out
His loyalty is to the sun.
constantly. But you know, other than that, I had a fun time with this. The third act in particular was awesome. But yeah, I really had a blast with this. It wasn't amazing by any means, but you know, for a January release, it was certainly better than it could have been. Dolittle. Oh boy. Well, this movie sucks. Like, a lot. Like, really badly, which, you know, is pretty common for Dolittle movies. Kinda, sort of, or at least having troubled productions. Like the original, or like the first one from the 60s, right? That had a pretty troubled budget. I've never seen it, so I have no personal opinion on its quality.
1,000 goodbyes when I look in your eyes.
No, I have not seen the movie. No, I have no clue the context of that thing. Yes, I edited it. And I kind of want to watch it now. Because that actually looks really fun. No, seriously, that actually, from what I've heard, that's actually the decent one out of these. So maybe I'll finally watch that when I get the time. But, you know, it did end the movie musical, financially speaking, so there's that. There was the Eddie Murphy Dolittle, which I have seen, and it was pretty bad, but it had the least troubled production. And then there's this one, which is the best of both worlds. Because not only was this movie supposedly a passion project for its director, it also just happened to, like, in the last 9 months before it was supposed to come out, they decided to reshoot most of the movie because, and I quote, the tone was not kid-friendly enough and they wanted to be more child-friendly, which is probably why this movie is a tonal mess, because, the whole movie is that Dolittle is depressed that his wife died or something. It's something like that, and so the whole thing turns into him, like, having to overcome this in a journey and get, like, his own kid that he has to mentor, blah, 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 magical quest, and it doesn't know what tone it wants to be 90% of the time. It doesn't know if it wants to be just kid-friendly slapstick. It doesn't know if it wants to be the Pirates of the Caribbean, but for kids. It doesn't know how to balance its darker tone because it's just so clashed, like, so incredibly, like, tonally clashing and narratively clashing. Everything is rushed. Like, there's a big, this is where we need to be for the midpoint, which those who are not aware about 3-act structure, the midpoint is not the middle of the movie, but the middle of the second act. Except it then just cuts the next scene later to the all is lost moment, which is the end of Act 2. So you just kind of go, the heck are we here for now? It keeps going, and it feels incredibly rushed. Nothing is given time to breathe. And there are elements of good ideas. Heck, the opening sequence has this beautiful animation look to it that tells the backstory really well. And there are a few moments where narratively I was like, okay, that's a decent enough idea to take the story. But it just doesn't go anywhere, and it's not funny. It's the VFX are unpleasant, and if you're thinking Robert Downey Jr. somehow is going to save this movie, Robert Downey Jr. feels like he's just desperately trying to, like, get out of the movie, because his accent, dear goodness gravy, it'll probably be fine with kids, I guess, I know I'm technically not supposed to say I can't, excuse age demographic, even though you kind of have to at points, but it wasn't for me. I don't think most people will like it. I don't know, maybe you will. That's just me, I guess. I did not like it or care for it, though. Yeah, this was kind of a not fun way to start 2020.